Surprise!
Surprise, okay.
Mirror, whoops. Hello, that's me, guy without PR. Got rejected twice.
They don't give you PR
I'm
because
not.
they know you're a spy from Russia.
Yeah, I think they see my dossier like, oh, that's spy again. Sometimes I get booed just because I'm from Russia.
Hi, welcome back to the Crazy Koala channel. So my name is Koala.
My name is Arthur.
I know Arthur like in 2021. Arthur is a Russian comedian. I actually met him in his stand-up comedy show. At the time, I knew him and he didn't know me. So he's so famous, So
I was a bit more famous. How long is the channel?
actually just a couple years.
So in 2021,
yeah, it's about.
you saw me, you thought, oh, this guy's famous, I want to be famous. Let me start a YouTube channel.
By the way, where's your national costume? Ask Arthur to wear some dress code for this video. And the dress code is going to show here.
See that? This is what she wanted me to wear.
How long have you been in Singapore, Arthur?
This is my 9th year, probably it's getting to 9.5 years. So I came here in 2012 for the first time. I did
almost 10 years.
Yes, so I did my master's here for 1 year.
Wow. What did you study?
Studied international business. So I thought like Singapore is an international business hub.
Okay.
I need to learn how to do international business, so I came to Singapore. Yeah, then I went back to Russia and I got back in 2015 and I've been here since then. When did you come?
So I actually came here a couple of times. The first time I came here in 2015. Wow, it's been 8 years. How integrated you are in Singapore? How's your local language?
More than 9 years. I like to think that I'm quite integrated. For me personally, one of the biggest things is how many local friends you have, right? And I would say that most of my friends are definitely non-Russian friends and non-expats. Actually, when I moved to Singapore, I was like, oh great, I can speak 2 out of 4 official languages. I can speak English and Chinese.
Where did you learn Chinese, by the way?
I studied Chinese back in Russia. I studied international relations, so I studied to be a diplomat or maybe a spy, which I might as well be.
You look like one.
Yes, exactly.
We need to write down his name, by the way.
I don't look like a Russian, I don't sound like Russian, so perfect spy. I somehow ended up in Chinese language school.
You want to say some Chinese to my audience?
可以. One of the jokes that I tell about how I started learning Chinese was that I thought that China will conquer the world anyway, so it's probably a good idea to speak their language when they invade us, so that at least I can open the door and say, 你好,欢迎来我家. Oh, 不好意思,你们的家.
你们的家.
So hopefully that will be subtitles there. Right? And then,
so you've been here for 10 years, and do you feel like home here?
Yeah, as I always say in my comedy show, I feel like home in Singapore as a Russian because I moved from one democratic country to another. And so far, that joke hasn't got me deported. So,
you got so much freedom here.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of Singapore, that it's just really welcoming. And I know that the US is often referred as a big melting pot, but honestly, when I came to Singapore, I felt this is a melting pot and everyone is so welcoming, and I think people are just so used that they've been building this international business hub. Never felt discriminated or anything. Everyone is always curious about what brought me to Singapore, learning a bit more about my culture. Especially, I don't think that there are a lot of Russians in Singapore, so for them more interesting than like Australians or British people. And then every time like, oh, from Russia, and one of the first questions is always like, how do you feel like coming from super cold country?
Yeah, exactly.
From -30 to +30.
Oh my goodness,
It's hot. I feel hot.
It's hot.
I feel like melting all the time. I know, like every time you land in Changi, you step on this soft carpet, you're like, oh great, I'm home. And then doors open, it's like, and you're sweating immediately. Then you know that you're back home.
It's quite interesting for me to come across a Russian stand-up comedian. I was like, wow, like, can Russian guy be really funny?
No, I think like in high school probably that's I started making the jokes. They would shout a lot of stupid stuff, and I'll be patiently waiting for just one liner, and then I'll just, to top it up, started doing sketch comedy when I was in university. Someone invited me to go for a Singapore Comedy Fringe, which was like an annual showcase of all the best local comics. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And like just the energy that is flowing, it's very different from Netflix or watching comedy on YouTube, right? It's like you just feel everything is in the moment.
I love it too.
Yeah, someone guided me to an open mic.
Yeah.
I signed up, and that was 18th of August 2016.
Wow, I still remember the day. Exactly like 8 years ago.
Yeah, I was shaking hands getting on stage. And I invited a few friends. Never saw them again.
Never saw
I lost a lot of it's been a great journey. I've performed in 9 countries so far.
Yeah, but not Russia.
Not Russia. If I do comedy in Russia, I'll get 20 years in jail, being Singapore's first and only Russian comedian.
Exactly.
Obviously, that makes me the funniest.
Probably
Russian
not
comedian.
just Singapore, right? Because in the whole Asia, you don't usually see Russian
Yeah.
comedian. When I was in Russia, everybody is like poker face.
I think someone told me there were some Russian comedians in China, but obviously I tracked them down and eliminated them.
Used to go to stand-up comedy shows like almost every week.
So you relate more?
I relate
stand-up
more
here?
nerdy stuff.
Okay.
Like geeky, nerdy stuff. Like there's another comedian, Deepak, and he's engineer, geeky stuff. Sure.
Full disclaimer, he was supposed to be here. He was just found the
No
second cheapest replacement. Deepak, love you.
No, he's
You'll be the next
great.
one.
Give us some joke.
I went to travel to Phuket in Thailand. Yeah, I kind of realized that Russia didn't invade Ukraine. I think Russia invaded Phuket and the rest of Thailand. There were just way too many Russians.
Oh yeah, I can relate it too.
I thought I'm going to Thailand, and apparently I'm going to Russian region of Thailand.
Just curious also how the people in Singapore see Russians. Like people hate you, people love you. What's their attitudes like these days?
It obviously changed over the last few years. I guess in the past it was always like a lot of curiosity, and as I mentioned, because it's not a very typical background for expats here, so quite often they'll be like, oh, Russian, like so far away from cold places, how did you end up there? Obviously over the last 1.5 years the tone of conversations changed a bit. I don't really get much hatred because I think most people understand that decisions of politicians not always relate to decisions and opinions of normal people. Really sad, and we all hope that this war will be over soonest. Even when I perform now, every time I mention that, the reaction is very different. Before it was like, wow, interesting, let's see what he has to say. Now like, ooh. So yeah, sometimes I get booed just because I'm from Russia, and definitely there is a lot of build-up tension early on in the sets.
Yeah.
So I have to handle that. That's kind of part of my life now.
Okay.
Surprise!
Surprise! Okay.
What happened? Mirror, whoops.
Oops, cut.
Wow, yeah.
Alright. So we changed C to make it more fun.
Very unnoticeable cinematic move, right?
Long
time no see.
Yeah.
You've been traveling quite a bit.
Are you interviewing me? Or
Oh yes. The second part we will switch. Now I'm the host. Welcome to the show. Today I have a very famous. I wanted to invite Deepak, but he was not available. So Krazy Koala.
So now, what's the plan? Do you want to stay in Singapore long term? Want to move back Russia someday, or what's the plan?
Well, I mean, I've been enjoying my life here, and I'm trying to get
Are you
permanent
PR?
residency.
Oh, not yet. Oh,
not yet.
oops. You can face this way so people can see you.
Yeah. Hello, that's me. That's me, the guy without PR. Yeah, almost every joke about Singapore ends up being saying like, I really want my PR.
Did you ever apply for PR?
Yeah, so I applied twice,
Oh, you did?
got rejected twice, so
Because they know you're a spy from Russia?
yeah, I think they see my dossier like, oh, that spy again. Probably not. So
They're gonna call up Putin and check or something?
I don't think he's picking up the phone lately. He's quite busy.
That's very busy.
Yeah. But sometimes even in shows I joke like, if there are any people from MOM in the audience, or if there are any people from MOM watching this video, please, Arthur Akhmedzyanov application for PR. If you can just push it a bit, that would be very appreciated. Team Pangju. Yeah, so the plans are to stay here. I think now it's already like almost a third of my life I spent in Singapore. So I started here.
Oh, you're so young!
Oh, thank you. So just, I'm hoping that I can settle down properly here. I started here, I did a startup here, currently working here, a lot of good memories.
Why do you think they don't give you PR?
I'm in the others category, which is like the smallest category, so I guess the competition is quite high, and Singapore deserves only the best. So I guess I need to keep proving that I am the best.
You can be the best comedian first.
If I was the best, I would be the first choice, not Deepak. Yeah, I'm number 2.
Is Deepak watching this?
He should be watching
he should
it.
be
Like,
watching
Deepak,
it.
if you're watching, like, we will love you.
Yeah,
we miss you.
yeah.
So yeah, plan to be here. No plans to go back.
So it's hard to send money back to Russia these days, right? Sanctions or?
Yeah. All my laundering schemes, they all just banned now. Like I struggle. It's
Oh
like
my
very, very
goodness.
difficult to send all this illegal money, right?
Oh yeah.
Fortunately, these are the consequences. Yeah, very symbolic that.
Thunder just now.
Yeah, I think it's Putin sending.
Oh yeah. How is the EP situation in Singapore? It's easy to renew?
For me, so far, I didn't have issues. So every 2-3 years, I just my company applies.
Okay.
They're planning to introduce a new system that will have like points, kind of point system. So if you go through this point system and you have enough points, your EP should be kind of almost automatically approved. Candidates, I guess, need to raise their game to match those parameters, and then I guess it's more clarity for employers as well. So yeah, hopefully maybe they can introduce something like that for even for PR, so I can see what are the points and I can work on them.
Like Asian people love points, like exams, points, and.
So I guess I'm already Asian, right?
Well, Russian is kind of Asian, part of it.
Eurasian, right?
Yeah.
Half Europe, half Asia.
So which side are you? You are the European side, or you are the Asian side?
I'm ethnically Tatar, which is like an ethnicity, so I'm not ethnical Russian.
You got to say this to get Ukrainian friends, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
To get them back.
don't say that you're Russian.
Yeah, yeah. That's my next positioning, right? The world's first Tatar comedian. So yeah, I'll need to rebrand a bit.
I'm just curious also, like you've been living here for 10 years, and how do you feel the difference between, like, say, like 10 years ago as a foreigner versus 10 years later? Do you see any changes over the past decade?
I know that there are quite a few people who leave Singapore and during the pandemic, right?
Yeah, I heard a lot of people left.
So,
So in your office,
yeah.
how much percent are local versus foreigners?
I would say mostly it's a local company, even like a
Mostly
few
local?
colleagues. Yeah. So like even my boss is Australian, he's a PR. I'm actually one of the few who is on employment pass, like legally foreigners, and the rest is all like
Are you
local
sure you're
cases.
legal?
Yeah. I'm still legal.
Still legal.
Like, I am legal. You extended my employment pass. I think that's why Singapore has been always quite good and nimble and agile, right?
Yeah.
Because it has always embraced having this diversity of voices. I speak like I'm going for elections.
Please vote for him.
Yeah, vote for me. Or at least for my PR. Please.
A PR should implement this like voting system, right? So everyone can vote
Exactly.
for you. You get it.
Yeah, I'll just walk around with a sticker. Sorry,
Yeah.
1 2 1 2 PR.
So I have another question about Singapore cost of living. Is it getting a lot more expensive after 10 years?
This one is definitely one of the biggest differences, and I think especially in the last few years, rentals went up at minimum 40-50%, and I think in a lot of cases like just twice. I think landlords just multiplied by 2, and now they're just getting even more expensive, and I think like now there's a increased stamp duty for foreigners up to 60%. So it is a bit insane, but this is what happens in a lot of places. So same people in Canada, people in Australia, even back in Russia.
Russia also goes up by a lot.
Yes, maybe not that crazy like here.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I can cut. It's good.
We can cut, we can dance. Yeah, if you enjoy, like, subscribe, share, comment. You probably also want me to shamelessly plug my own social media, right? Not asking, but I will do it anyway. If you think that you might enjoy some Russian jokes, I have plenty of non-Russian jokes as well. You can follow me at arthur.comedy. I'll see some of you in the shows. I'll do some headline gigs in July.
Alright, so next time we'll make some more funny videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye-bye, see you.
What else I'm supposed to ask you?
I don't know.
Oh my god. Wait.
This is the part when I'm taking over and I interview you for the rest of the hour.
We will look forward to seeing you in May. Well, okay. What should we look forward to seeing them in your show or in my show? What should I say?
Well, Koala is also starting stand-up career, obviously, so follow her. She will do some shows. But as she's collecting the material, come to my show first.
Alright.